You know, it's nice to see a movie that brings us out of that January feel. And that Oscar season, it's still going. Okay, so Selma. Selma is a movie that chronicles the events of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and how he worked the civil rights movement. You know, the nonviolent acts he adopted from Gandhi so he can help give African Americans rights such as the right to vote. I felt like a history teacher saying that. Felt badass. I don't know why I did that. I have like no coat on. And that's the whole point of the movie, so MLK and his followers can get desegregated from Southern law of Selma so they can vote. Now going into this movie, I thought it was just gonna base it off Martin Luther King Jr.'s life and the struggles he had to face. Although it did show the second part, it didn't really show a whole lot of his life. Because usually movies such as J. Edgar do that and it usually turns into quite a mess. It actually sets you up right from the get-go and it focuses on the much bigger picture. With a great amount of focus, Selma was actually a pretty damn good movie. The acting in this movie was just phenomenal. David Oyelowo, I can't pronounce his name. His portrayal of Martin Luther King was extremely spot on. For some scenes, I thought I was actually watching Martin Luther King Jr. He got so into character. I can imagine when the Oscars come around, he's gonna get nominated for Best Actor. I mean, it's his movie. They showed him in his glorifying moments, but what I love most about his portrayal is that they covered parts of his life that not too many people know about. Because throughout the whole movie, I was like, are they gonna cover that? Because not only does it affect his character, but it also affects the civil rights movement in itself. And they did cover it. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it was just another way for people to go against him so he can fail his mission. It just showed that this legendary historical figure is vulnerable, and I thought it was a great balance of character. I mean, shit, even some of the supporting cast was really great, like the woman who plays Coretta Scott King. Yeah, I don't know what her name is either. I feel really bad. Because they all had parts where they stand out as their own character, and I thought it was really cool being translated to screen. And a part of that had to do with the extremely well-written script and the dialogue going on between the characters. You know the movie Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis? Yeah, we all know the dude owned that role. And those scenes where he's talking to someone and he's telling stories about his life or something like that, as he's speaking, you're like, yeah, cool, you're taking something from his words. Same thing with the guy who plays Martin Luther King Jr. He's given his speeches and you're just really inspired by that. I'm serious, I had a big fat dumb smile on my face during those scenes. And when it got to the scenes of the civil rights movement, holy shit, that was extremely hard to watch. This movie is rated PG-13, so they couldn't fully capture the brutality of the situations, but it was just enough to get to a point where it was horrifying since these activists got the shit kicked out of them. Just sucks what they had to go through so they can be equal to everybody. Imagine shit like that being televised like in this movie. They wouldn't allow it, of course, but it would still be awful to watch. It got emotional for some scenes, and for a movie, I gotta give it props. Now, some parts of the movie, like when it comes to the timeline, that was just done okay. Because they get to certain moments of the movie where you feel it's important to MLK's mission and his cause. But then all of a sudden, it just cuts away and they don't handle that situation anymore. I wish I would know more about that, but I know it's a movie and there's only so much they can cover. Because I am a huge fan of history and it's always fun to know these little facts. So Selma was a great historical movie that was well directed and had a well written script. David What's-His-Face from Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I hope he gets nominated for Best Actor, and some of the supporting cast too. Some scenes were executed really good and some not so great. I wish they would cover more on some parts, but I'm not gonna hold it entirely because of that. So I say Selma is worth the full price in theaters because it is a silver screen gem. Have you guys seen Selma? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below. And a quick reminder, my room is going through huge home improvements, so I'm not gonna be on here for a couple days. Like my video on the new Avengers Age of Ultron trailer, that might be coming late because my room is just being torn to shit. Hopefully I'll be back to review Black Hat, American Sniper, and so on, so, you know, I can keep up because playing catch up really sucks. But I'll still be on Twitter, I'll still be on Facebook, in which you can find in the description below, but in the meantime, I have to get going.